Now, normally I don't talk about gaming because the entire gaming industry just pisses me off. It is a cesspool of moderators, and the very fact that you buy a game and they still think they can ban you after you flesh out whatever amount of money they charge is just it's ridiculous and it's insulting to you as a human being. Now, the real only reason why I'm making this video is because Geno360 had the audacity to tell somebody on the Troll Posse about how they're not a true gamer because they don't play Nintendo. Really? How many fucking Mario and Zelda games does it take before you've just had your fill? I mean, if you have friends over and you want to play like Mario Party or Mario Kart or Mario Tennis or Mario whatever, Mario dildos, then sure. But for the most part, Nintendo is pretty mediocre. Now, one game I do want to talk about, and I know it's going to piss some people off, Halo. As you notice, this isn't the Xbox version, it's the PC version. Uh, there was a bit of a tiff between Microsoft and Microsoft because Microsoft owns fucking everything next to Google, and basically they had to somehow limit the PC version of Halo because of the fact that they wanted to pursue it on the Xbox format. So what they did was they didn't allow mic chat on the PC version, which really isn't missing out on much because who wants to hear a fucking 12-year-old accuse you of hacks at the top of his lungs? So yeah, you only have voice chat on Halo. Not that you really need people to comment for strategy because it's fucking Halo. The mechanics are pretty simplistic. Anyway, it was a pretty good game. It actually the Halo Combat Evolved turned me into a Halo fan. I rather like the Halo franchise. I know that's gonna piss some people off, but I do think Halo is a good game despite being a multi-billion dollar corporate piece of shit. It's got good graphics, it's got good game mechanics. For a first-person shooter, it's pretty damn good. Is it the greatest game ever? No. But for a first-person shooter, it meets the qualifications. And Halo probably would have been a better game if it had more mods. That's the thing about PC gaming. It attracts a crowd that knows how to modify the game to make it better. Console gaming doesn't do that because console gaming appeals to younger audiences who are not avid in programming. Now, mind you, even in PC version, there isn't nearly enough good modified games. Most of them are just modified in the sense of everybody gets a rocket launcher or sniper rifle, which in turn means a clusterfuck. But there was one good modified game that I have to point out because that should be a game in and of itself, and if you could do that, I will give you mad props. This one modified version I call Hell Mode was that everyone was cloaked, so everyone's invisible at the same time, permanently, and you're in the corridor level. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but anyway, there's skulls all over the place because there's capture the skull format. But this wasn't about capturing the skull. It was just you're invisible. There's skulls everywhere. You tend to pick up the skull the moment you're over it. So it's very hard not to have a skull in your hand. You have to be very careful. So you have skulls and you have grenades. So you know what this means? You're randomly spamming grenades, hoping that there's an invisible person around that radius. For the most part, you're just bludgeoning people, trying to see if they're on your team or not, because when you're cloaked, it's kind of hard to tell. So people are beating the shit out of each other. Half the time they're their own teammates, and then before you know it, oh shit, there's a grenade. And while that does sound pretty random and stupid, it's actually quite fun. And that made me fall in love with Halo. So yeah, I guess that's it. Not I don't like many games, but Halo is one of those games that I do indeed like. The only other game off the top of my head that I could think of that I enjoyed was Blue Dragon for the 360 and Duke Nukem 2, which is an extremely old game. It's a side-scroller game. It's like the way Contra should have been. It's not ridiculously hard. The enemies are easy to defeat once you get the hang of them. Once you actually look at them and see their patterns, you can pretty much, and not to mention once you get better guns, it's a breeze. It's not something that you would be playing for weeks on end. It's more like a cell phone app by today's standards. But yeah, there are games that I like, but they're few and far between because it pisses me off that people get so much money in from video games and put so little effort into the games. I just don't feel like that the people making video games actually give a shit. All they care about is making money, either by attracting you by a nice cover or through hype or through their company associations or the fact that, at the end of the day, they're going to get your money and screw you over no matter what. And on top of the fact that you are having to swim through this ocean of would-be games, and most of them are crap, in between that you have Microsoft, Valve, etc., running programs and corporations that ban you and treat you like garbage, even though you're the reason they're the multi-billionaires. So maybe I'll talk about the video gaming industry and how moderators are ruining everything more in depth later on. But I just wanted to talk about Halo, about how it's a good game. It makes both the PC master race and the console tards rage at the same time about that, which is usually very hard to do. But since I'm Jim Profit, I managed to find a way. See you later.